Good morning, class. We have just finished our unit on framing, and we're going to jump right into residential electrical. So the first thing I'm going to have you do is take out your notebooks, take out your journals, and we're going to answer a couple of journal prompts. And then we're going to do a think, pair, share, which is going to go like this. You are going to individually write out your journal questions. You're going to answer them by yourself. And then once we're all done, then we'll get into pairs. And you'll discuss the journal questions, not reading them. You're not going to read them word for word, but you'll discuss them, what you wrote. And then as a whole class, we will, I'll choose a couple of you to share for the whole class. So the first journal prompt that we're going to do as you take your journals out, the first prompt is, when is a time that you have been electrocuted? When have you felt electricity's power? And this could be a time when you were 5 and you stuck a fork in the electrical outlet and you still remember it and it went boom. Or it could be even something like your friend had one of those fake gum sticks and you pulled it, or you were at a magic shop and you had a little shaker, you had the little electrical hand shaker thing. So think about that, and that's your first prompt. The second prompt is, think of a time when you were in a power outage. Think of a time that you were in a power outage. So the first prompt and the second prompt, go ahead now, as you got your journals out, write out the questions, and then answer them. And I'm going to give you a couple minutes to do that. Okay, now that you've answered your questions, you've written both questions and you've answered both of them, now what I want you to do is to get into pairs, just with the person sitting right next to you, get into pairs and discuss the questions. So just go back and forth. Both of you do question 1, both of you do question 2, and don't just read it, but actually explain the situations and explain what you were going through. And in a couple minutes, we'll come together as a class. So go ahead and get started with that now. All right, now that we're all done in our pairs, you're done discussing the questions back and forth, you guys know each other's stories now, I'm going to pick a couple of you or if somebody really wants to do it, you can raise your hand, to share for the whole class your experience. So I'll go first. My first experience with electricity, getting shocked, was when I was 5, and I put the butter knife into an electrical outlet, and that was my first experience with electricity. I never did that again. And then the time I was in a power outage, I was actually with my wife, and we were in a restaurant, and it was great because the power went out, and my wife was actually working at the restaurant at the time, and so they just started bringing me all the food in the fridges because it was going to go bad. So they just started bringing me all the food, and so it was a good experience for me being in a power outage. All right, now let's hear some of yours.